Here comes our screen for Mangacharan prayers. There we go. So that we can have a right consciousness as we recite and take blessings from all our acharyas. So, yes, Mataji, please start Amritanandini Mataji. I'll mute myself too.
Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Nenam Tasmai Guruve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Savadetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Chitashvam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini iti namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatare Shatarini Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati iti namini Sri Varshabhanu Devi Daitaya Kripa Bhattaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daini Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjvala Premadhaya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinatarini Rupanuga Murta Pasiddhanta Dantahari Namo Gaura Kichoraya Sakshat Vairagyamurtaye Vipralamban Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Gaura Shakti Sarupa Rupanuga Varayate Gauravi Bhava Bhumeste Tam Nirdesha Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpa Tarubhecha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Nanme Gora Tishve Nama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakti Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatar Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kanta Namostute Jaitam Surato Pangarmam Mandarmate Rivati Matsarvasa Padambuja Radha Madana Mohana Divya Durundaranya Kalpa Durmadha Srimad Ratnagara Sinhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Dev Prishtadibhi Sevamano Smarami Sriman Ras Rasarambi Vanshivata Tatastita Karshana Venu Sami Gopi Gopinath Sriyestu Nama Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Rundavaneshwari Rishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Haripriya Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gauri Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much. And we really thank each and every Mataji who has joined the March virtual monthly Sanga from ISKCON Farmington Hills. We are very, very happy to have this very special guest with us, Her Grace Kalasudha Mataji. Just a few words for those of you, everybody knows, I'm pretty sure she's world famous. For my own purification, I just wanted to say that she is such a sincere disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. And at a very tender age of 15 years, she took initiation. That is like, wow, right? That's a wow feeling for each one of us. So it's a great opportunity that she has agreed. She has agreed like so spontaneously. She was being very merciful to me, and she agreed to give us her association and this enlightened message and share with us. And so many awards Mataji and Prabhu have won. And they are one of the pioneers of starting the Bhakti Vriksha programs. They are the second generation pioneers. Hundreds of devotees have joined. Like if we would love, right, when we have a blueprint when how to start a program, where to go give the invite, how do we invite them, what day to select, how to select the menu, everything she covers. That's the blueprint that Mataji and Prabhu gives, how to run Bhakti Vriksha programs. And she personally, by her own example, they show us. Just to tell you the wonderful awards that our ISKCON has acknowledged their preaching efforts. In 2005, the ISKCON Congregation Development Ministry awarded Advaita Chandra Das and Kalasudha Devi Dasi the Janava Nitai Award for pioneering the Bhakti Vriksha program in the North America. In 2009, they were awarded the Sita Thakur Rani Advaita Acharya Award for successfully developing the Bhakti Vriksha system. Again, in 2014, they were awarded the first place in for highest cumulative congregation results for Gaurabda 528. So they are amazing. Like these are just small, tiny things, but the way they preach is their heart. And they just love Mahaprabhu and the whole movement, that they are happily sharing the message every day on the Facebook. To most of you are connected, I'm pretty sure, to Mataji's channels. So today we have a personal channel with Mataji, and she has touched me with her love and affection. And I'm so happy and thankful that Mataji agreed to come up with us. Let us all loudly chant and welcome her to our ISKCON Farmington Hills by saying Hari Bol!
Hari Bol!
Hari Bol! Thank you so
Hari Bol.
much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Your words, I do not deserve any one of them, but thank you so much, Hemanga Gopi, for this beautiful, beautiful opportunity to be with all of you. I remember when we had the great fortune of being with them, and I won't forget how I had actually gotten very sick when I was with her. And right after the program, I had fallen very, very sick somehow. And the way she took care of me, I will never forget that, not just this lifetime, but for eternity. She's having that beautiful, loving, motherly care. And I'm so grateful to her for that. Thank you. And this opportunity that to speak something in all of your presence, I don't feel at all qualified. But again, thank you, Hemanga Gopi, for giving me this opportunity and engaging me in some small service to all of you esteemed Vaishnavis. That's my great fortune. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to say you, the assembled devotees, as you said, they are so loving, each one of them, that we moved from Alachua, from there to here. Now we are in Windsor, Canada, and I don't feel at all, because I just feel I'm there with them. It's their love, and each one are so talented and so dedicated in their service to their lordships. Radha Gopijana Vallabha, Shishi Radha Gopijana Vallabha, and Nitai Patita Pavan Gaurahari. So they're wonderful devotees, Mataji. You should come here. We'd love to have you.
We definitely look forward to all of your association together. We definitely look forward to. Hari Bol. So may we start?
Yes, Mataji, please. Yes.
Amakyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangur Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hariyam Tatsat Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Radhanath Swami Niti Namine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Hare Krishna. Again, thank you all so much for this wonderful opportunity. Today, the topic that we selected for all of you is that we can speak on is remaining enthusiastic in our devotional practices, especially given this situation that we all are in this pandemic, where now the very advanced level of Sanga is through this platform, online platform, social media. And this is how Srila Prabhupada envisioned, that whatever way we have, our association should not ever be impeded by whatever material situation we may be faced with. So utilizing everything in Krishna's service, this is what Srila Prabhupada taught us. And by that, see, all of us are, I know that devotees, although it is 3 a.m. for devotees in India, some devotees from India have also joined here on this Zoom call. So I'm so grateful to each and every one of those devotees who have joined all the way from India, although it's so early for them. Thank you. Deepest gratitude to you for joining in. And for all of you, we are all from such different parts of the country, the world, in fact, and we are all united here together. This is what United Nations of the spiritual world is, and this is what Srila Prabhupada envisioned Srila ISKCON to be. So we are so happy that you are giving us this platform. So all glories to all of your services. Thank you. So how to remain enthusiastic in our devotional practices? Srila, in the Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, in verse 3, it is explained, Utsaha nishtaya dhairyat tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte shadbir bhakti prashidati. That there are 6 principles which enhance our devotional practices. First, the most important one being enthusiastic. Second one, endeavoring with confidence. Third, being patient. Now, these 3 are the most essential ones out of the 6. It's like the pyramid, of course, but pyramid has 6, you can imagine 6 sides of the pyramid. And out of the 6 sides, we should know that these 3 are the most essential. And we will get into details that why these 3 especially form the basis of our enthusiasm in our devotional service, or how do these form the execution of pure devotional service. The 4th one being acting according to regulative principles, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, which are the 9 practices of devotional service. 5th one being abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6th one, following in the footsteps of our previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service, it is said. So none of this say that, yes, we have to go to certain place to associate with devotees. There's no excuse that, oh, now we are not having this facility, therefore we can't associate with devotees. Because such recommendation is only not there in the Shastra. We have to associate with devotees. That is the way we have to associate. And how we associate, we have to see based on time, place, and circumstances. And the way Srila Prabhupada explained the first three, being very enthusiastic, endeavoring with devotion and confidence, and being patient. Utsahan, Nishchayat, and Dhairyat. These three qualities are very, 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 very important. You see, if we don't have even one of these qualities, we will not be able to be successful in our devotional attempts. If we are not having any enthusiasm, then we will not have the determination to even chant our rounds or get up early in the morning, do our morning program, do our morning sadhana. We will not have the enthusiasm to do that. And then if we don't have any endeavoring with confidence, that nishchayat, going ahead against all odds. Everything is going against us, but we are still going on persevering, going on at the process. Why? Because we know that one day, Prabhupada has said that if we do it, then we will get guaranteed, love of God is guaranteed. So with that faith, we keep endeavoring with confidence. But it doesn't happen overnight. So therefore, we need the third quality, which is patience. We can say, oh, Khatwanga Maharaj got it in a moment. This personality got it in that time. Why? I've been chanting 25 years, 30 years, 2 years, 1 year, 40 years. Why am I not getting? Why am I not getting any taste for chanting the holy names? Well, why I'm not getting? That is because there must be some problem in us. There is no problem with the process. The process is capable of giving us pure devotional service even in a moment, if we know how to actually implement it in our life. But the fact that we are not getting it implies that we are not implementing it fully. We cannot say that, okay, I will only go only till the airport, but I have the ticket. I don't know how I'll reach India. I am scared of getting on the flight, but I have the ticket. I've come to the airport. Now it's your duty to take me to India. Are Baba, you have to get on the flight now. We can't say, no, I don't care. I have all this. Now you have to manage. Somehow or the other, I have to go to India. Fine, you can go in your mind, but we have to make that endeavor of getting on the flight, getting outside of our comfort zone and stepping into the flight and flying to India. So that's how we will reach India. So now we have all the tools. We have what it needs to really practice devotional service. We have the association of devotees. We have the blessings of our spiritual masters. We have the chanting of the holy names. We have devotional service. We have all this paraphernalia with us. Now it is time for us to actually implement it. And once we implement it, then as Srila Rupa Goswami has explained in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the first verse, he explains, Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam Anukulyena Anukrishna Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama. That Uttama Bhakti, or unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it involves the rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord, in a way that Krishna likes it. This devotional service is free from any jnana or karma. It's free from all of that, or any other selfish desires. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhi anavritam anukulena krishna anushilanam bhakti. That is pure devotional service. So when we really have that kind of pure devotional service, that, my dear Krishna, all I want is just your devotional service. I just want to please you the way you like, not the way I like. This pastime, all of us know this wonderful story about Sri Krishna having a headache. And everyone, Narad Muni, came to Krishna. Krishna, who is your greatest devotee? Tell me. So Krishna suddenly said, oh, Narada, I have a very bad headache. And then Krishna and Narada said, oh Krishna, how can we save? How can we protect your headache? How can we cure your headache? And Krishna said, oh Narada, only the dust of my pure devotees, that dust can only cure my headache. So then Narada said, okay, let me go and find such devotees. But who will give their dust to you, Krishna? You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whoever give their dust, they will go to hell. Then Krishna said, I don't want to hear. I'm having tremendous headache. You do something about it, Narada. So Narada ran. He first came to the Himalayas, to the great sages. Please, yogis, rishis, you're meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That Supreme Personality of Godhead has a headache. Oh, Parabrahman has a headache. How to cure? What is happening? Said, oh, no, your dust of your lotus feet will cure. So can you give? Said, oh, Vishnu, we'll go to hell. What is this, Narada? What's wrong with you? Go from here. You're telling us how to go to hell? You're pushing us to hell. What is this? Narada went to every place. Nobody gave. Finally, he came to Brajbhumi, to Sri Vrajaland, and then the gopis were milking the cows. They were doing their household chores. And then Narada Muni said, hey, Brajavadhus, please, Krishna has a headache. Huh? Krishna has a headache. How to cure? And then Narada said, yes, the only way to cure is the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees. And then the gopis ran to the banks of the Jamuna and they started, just playing on the sands of the banks of the river Yamuna. And then they started collecting it in bags. All the dust that their lotus feet touched, they put it in the bag and they gave all, like in bundles, they were giving it to Narada. Go, Narada, go immediately. We don't know if we are pure devotees or not, but try this. If this helps, then if Krishna's headache goes away, it's great. Please try. Narada said, aren't you afraid that you'll be going to hell? The Gopi said, Krishna's headache will be cured. No? Doesn't matter where we go. It's fine. You go. Don't wait a moment. Please go. And then Narada came back to Krishna and Krishna rubbed the dust of the lotus feet of the Gopis on his head and his headache was gone. And then Narada had his question answered. And then Narada said, Krishna smilingly actually said to Narada that, Narada, when I told you, you could have also given me the dust of your lotus feet. Rather, you went around every place in the universe. So now you can see why the Gopis are the topmost devotees. They are really on this platform. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhanavritam anukulena anu krishnanu shilanam bhakti. That their only means of survival, their way of survival is only dependent on Krishna, nothing else. They only survive on Krishna. So how should our devotional service be? Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu has given us this instruction that we have to follow in the footsteps of the gopis. Gopi bhartu padakamalayor, dasa dasa dasanudas. How do we follow in the footsteps of the gopis? So in order to say that, there's a very instructive story. So one time there was a group of frogs. So these frogs, they were, very merrily, all of them were nice friends. Merrily they were jumping, they were, going across their forest. They were going from one place to another. And then when they were going like this, they didn't realize that there was, a well which was dry, but it was covered with some dry plants and all that. They didn't notice it. So then they just jumped straight into the well. And one of the frogs fell straight into the well. And when the frog fell into the well, behind it, 2-3 more frogs also fell into the well. And then the other frogs got very cautioned. Oh, no, wait. There is some well here, so let us go around. But there were some frogs that had fallen in the well already. And the well was quite deep. So then the frogs who were on the outside, they were seeing, first they were seeing that this one frog was trying to jump very high. It was trying to jump, and because it was trying to come out. And then, but it was not able to, because it was not able to make such a high jump. So it was not able to come out. And then the frogs on the outside of the well, they started saying, hey, my dear friend, please, 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 don't waste your energy. Don't do this. Just stay here, stay here. Don't waste your energy. We'll try to get some help. And the more they were saying like this frog is trying to jump even higher, even higher, even higher. And then finally, jumping, the frog finally just jumped out of the well. And then everyone started clapping. Oh, you came out, how? And then this frog, when he jumped out, he said, ah. It was a deaf and dumb frog. So what he thought, when his friends were telling, don't come, he was seeing the actions that, you stay here, we will get someone out. He was thinking that his friends are encouraging him to come out. So that's why he was trying more and more and more. And finally he came out. So what is the moral of this story? The moral of this story is that sometimes when we are in a fallen state, there may be people around us who will tell, no, there's no use. Why you're doing so much endeavor? There's no need. You cannot do. Your endeavor is futile. You cannot get out of this situation. But we must go deaf and dumb to such instructions of our so-called friends. Listen to the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and his bona fide representatives. What do they say? And use that as our springboard to climb out of our fallen condition. And then, like that frog, that deaf and dumb frog, we will also be able to come out of our materialistic situation. So in this way, we must learn how to become deaf and dumb to materialistic situations. How Srila Prabhupada, we can learn enthusiasm from Srila Prabhupada. In the beginning days in Tompkins Square Park, Srila Prabhupada would go every day to chant at Tompkins Square Park. And he would just take his kartal. Sometimes he would just take, a can, and he would just play, and he would just chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And then some hippies got interested, the young boys and girls, they got interested and they started coming. Srila Prabhupada would have classes every, 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the 26 2nd Avenue in Matchless Gift. So then Srila Prabhupada, he would have the programs, 3 days a week. But some days there would be no one. No one would show up. No one would come. And one such day happened that nobody came. Srila Prabhupada distributed pamphlets. Srila Prabhupada invited so many people. He cooked all alone, 70-year-old man, cooking alone for, not knowing how many people would finally come. He would cook. And he cooked, he prepared for the program, but nobody started coming. Nobody showed up that day. But then Srila Prabhupada, he himself did the arati, to the beautiful painting of Radha Krishna that was in the Matchless Gift store. And then after the arati, even then people had not shown up. Not even one soul had come. So Srila Prabhupada, he just turned on his recorder and he started giving lecture to the 4 empty walls of the 26 2nd Avenue. And that lecture was so powerful, it got recorded. And thank Krishna, Srila Prabhupada recorded it, because that became a part of the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. If those of us, if you read the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, that introduction to the Bhagavad Gita is that lecture that Srila Prabhupada gave to the 4 walls. And it is so powerful. Such a powerful lecture Srila Prabhupada gave. He could have thought, well, no one has come. Nobody's here. Why should I give the class? But Srila Prabhupada, his enthusiasm, his patience, his determination against all odds was so great that his Guru Maharaj has instructed him. Srila Prabhupada just had that in mind. My Guru Maharaj has told me to preach in the English language. I will preach, come what may. That is the determination of Srila Prabhupada. And because of that endeavor, that enthusiasm that Srila Prabhupada has, we as the descendants of Srila Prabhupada, it is upon us now. It is said that more than the children, the grandchildren are more dear to the grandfather. So we are actually very, very fortunate to be the second generation of ISKCON, because we are Srila Prabhupada's grandchildren. And grandchildren become recipients of extra mercy of the grandfather. The father is very strict with the sons, but with the grandchildren, the the grandfather becomes like Laddu, he's so sweet. He gives extra mercy, extra little thing we do. Srila Prabhupada will give us this much mercy. So that is our special position that we have as the grandchildren of Srila Prabhupada. That if we can endeavor even a little bit, then we will be able to receive that benediction of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada always said one thing. One time a disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I don't feel enthusiastic. What should I do? What should I do? I don't feel enthusiastic. So Srila Prabhupada said, act enthusiastic. Then does that mean, Srila Prabhupada said, be hypocritical? No. Enthusiasm, showing enthusiasm. If we are showing enthusiasm, what will be hypocritical? If we are looking for others' praise, that, oh, look, others will see me and they will say, oh, what a nice devotee. That is looking for, artificial praise. That is called looking for any kind of, just praise or just hollow, and we are just trying to be hollow in ourselves. That is being, deceptive to ourselves. But if what Srila Prabhupada meant by acting enthusiastic is that if we are not feeling enthusiastic genuinely, then act enthusiastic means pray to Krishna. That Krishna, I am not feeling enthusiasm. Please bless me with some enthusiasm. Please bless me so that I can be enthusiastic. And if we cannot, then act again so that we can become enthusiastic. This is Srila Prabhupada's instruction. So we can see in so many of even Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastime, there was this one devotee, there was a brahmachari. Those days Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu had not brought out his Sankirtan movement into the open. He would still do it was still an incognito. It was still very, very close associates. And they would have the nocturnal kirtans at Srivas Thakur's house, night-long kirtans at Srivas Thakur's house. Mahaprabhu would say, we have wasted our human form of life. Why to waste in sleep again? Let us in the night also, let us chant. So then all the devotees would get together at Srivas Thakur's house, and Mahaprabhu would, encourage all the devotees to sing. Lord Nityananda would sing, Mukunda, and everyone, all of them would sing, and Mahaprabhu would display extreme ecstatic emotions. And it is said, those of us who have seen Srivas Angan, you'll see that there are, huge coconut trees over there, very, very tall coconut trees. And it is said that in ecstasy, the devotees would become so ecstatic in these nocturnal kirtans, they would climb up those coconut trees and they would jump from one coconut tree to the other. That's how much ecstasy these devotees would manifest. Even speaking about it, I get goosebumps sometimes. But the thing is that this was the kind of ecstasy, and that's why Mahaprabhu had given very strict instructions to Srivas and said that only specific and pure devotees are allowed into this nocturnal kirtans. Not everyone was allowed to come inside to participate in the nocturnal kirtans. So then Srivas Thakur, he would always make sure that no one is allowed there. So one day there was this very sweet one young brahmachari boy who came in. He was traveling and he heard about these, transcendental, ecstatic nocturnal kirtans at Srivasa's home. So he came with a very humble appeal to Srivas and said, my dear Srivas, I've heard about these nocturnal kirtans of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. I wish to just to see from a distance only, I'll just see. And then Shiva said, sorry, Baba, I cannot, Mahaprabhu, strict instructions, I cannot allow you. He said, you know what? I drink milk every day. This is what I sustain on. I just drink milk. That's what I drink. I don't eat anything else. I just drink milk all my life. And this is the kind of austerity I do. So please, this is my desire. I want to see the nocturnal kirtans of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Shiva said, oh, you drink only milk? Okay, see, I want to be careful. So why don't you just hide over there under a basket and you watch, okay? But you don't come out. So then Mahaprabhu, he started, all the devotees came, the nocturnal kirtan started, Mukunda started singing, and Mahaprabhu was closing his eyes, but then he was not feeling that ecstasy. So then Mahaprabhu called Srivas. He said, somebody is here who is not supposed to be here. Who is that? So then Srivas said, yes, Mahaprabhu. There's this, one brahmachari. He drinks only milk. And he had this serious desire to witness your nocturnal kirtan. So I allowed him to just witness. Then Mahaprabhu got really angry. He said, do you think that just by drinking milk, one can achieve pure love for Krishna? Get that milk drinker out. And Mahaprabhu was displaying extreme anger. And that brahmachari was shaking. And then he just said, and then Shiva said, you go. And then, but that brahmachari in his heart, he was feeling so grateful. He was feeling so much devotionally grateful that at least for just even, a few moments, he was able to witness the nocturnal kirtans of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So with a grateful heart, very humbly, so without protesting anything, this milk-drinking brahmachari was leaving. And Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, present in the heart of every living entity as the Paramatma, he could immediately understand the mood of this particular brahmachari. And he immediately called him back. And he said, okay, come back. And you can, and Mahaprabhu gave him pure love of Krishna. But then the question can arise that why did Mahaprabhu, he had a sincere desire, this brahmachari had a sincere desire. Why did Lord Chaitanya refuse him in the first instance only? So then the answer to this is that Mahaprabhu wanted to establish that no amount of, these kind of austerities qualify us to receive mercy of Krishna. The only qualification that we need is humility and a heart of gratitude. That's the only qualification that Mahaprabhu needs for us to be able to receive the mercy of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So this is how we can remain enthusiastic with these, listening to these kind of pastimes which are there in our Shastras. How the Gopis of Vrindavan, how they are able to really immerse themselves. When Krishna disappeared from the Rasa dance, the Gopis were heartbroken. How they came and they were first Krishna left with Srimati Radharani, and then the Gopis started following the footsteps of the divine couple, and they were going behind. Where is Krishna? Where is Srimati Radharani? And then after some time, they found Srimati Radharani because Krishna had left even her. But there's a very special reason that why Krishna left Srimati Radharani, because Radharani wanted. Because it was an external display that Srimati Radharani, she actually feigned, or she actually put up an emotion of pride. Because Srimati Radharani can never become proud, or she can never become angry. These qualities just do not exist in Srimati Radharani. But she externally put up an angle of pride so that Krishna would leave, because Radharani was feeling so bad for her girlfriends, for her sakhis, whom Krishna had already left. So Srimati Radharani wanted to be with her sakhis and together teach them that how we have to give up our pride so that Krishna will never leave us. So that is why Srimati Radharani, she just put up an act of pride so that Krishna would leave her also. And at Mansarovar in Vrindavan, Krishna left Radharani and Radharani was sitting there. And then the gopis found Srimati Radharani and then they started looking for Krishna. Srimati Radharani explained to the gopis how to actually be in the mood of having no envy, having no pride. Only then our hearts will become the true residence of Krishna. Otherwise, we cannot expect Krishna to come and make his permanent residence in our heart. She explained these to the gopis, and then the gopis, they sang their beautiful Gopi Geet, and everywhere they were looking for Krishna. And those Gopi Geet, those verses in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, they are so beautiful. They give us the mood with which we should also try to immerse ourselves when we are knowing that how the gopis are saying Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. That Krishna, it is your glories only, your pastimes only, that our, Tapta Jivanam, our heart, our life is like a desert. It's scorching like the desert. And your katha, your glories, Tava Kathamritam, is like the shower of nectar, which pacifies the burning of our life. So how to remain enthusiastic? When we can immerse ourselves in such kind of pastimes. We are like that, our heart is actually like iron. We cannot have iron, only one good quality we have. Because iron can take on the quality of what it associates with. If we associate with ice, iron can become like ice. If we associate with fire, iron can become fire. So it is up to us who we choose to associate with or what we choose to associate with, so that our hearts can be like a magnet and Krishna can attract our heart. Krishna is that magnet. He is the supreme magnet, and our iron-like heart can get attracted to Krishna only when we are having a proper attitude of gratitude. So I will just end with one of my favorite Gopi Geet verses, two of my favorite Gopi Geet verses actually. This is text 7 and text 8. Text 8 is actually the gopis are saying that how Krishna, each and every, it's almost like Madhurashtakam, how Madhurashtakam is. This 8th verse is like Madhura for the gopis when they are singing and glorifying Krishna. They say that Madhura Yagira Valgu Vakyaya, that Krishna, whatever you speak is so sweet, it's so nectarian. And just remembering this again and again and again, we are just completely, our misery is eradicated when we are remembering you. But our remembrance of you should then just bring you to our presence. That is what we hope, and that is what we desire. And then text 7, which is a very, very, very important verse of the Gopi Geet, it is saying that the gopis are actually glorifying the lotus feet of Krishna. And they are saying that Krishna, your lotus feet is actually worshipped. It is the abode of the goddess of fortune. The goddess of fortune makes your lotus feet her abode. But where do your lotus feet go? Your lotus feet is actually following these animals who go to graze in the forest. And when these animals are going to graze in the forest, they actually go on nibbling, the cows, the goats, they nibble on the grass and they are going in the front and you are following behind them. So your tender lotus feet is actually following these animals who are nibbling on the grass. So when, if you have this experience, give a raise of hand. But when you walk on soft grass with tender feet, it's okay, no problem. You will have no problem at all. But if that grass has been nibbled, and if the roots of that grass is exposed, if your feet fall on that, it is very, very painful. And I speak this from personal experience. It is very painful. If you've done Brajamandal Parikrama, you can understand this. How it is so painful. It literally can bring tears from your eyes when you step on nibbled grass. And Krishna would actually walk right behind these animals who have nibbled on the soft tender grass on the top, and they leave the roots exposed. So Krishna's delicate lotus feet falls on that, but it doesn't hurt Krishna. You see, we all very proudly say that we are Rupanugas or Prabhupadanugas, means we are followers of Rupa Goswami or followers of Srila Prabhupada. You know who Krishna follows? He is famous as Trinacharanuga. Trinacharanuga means, Trina means grass, Chara means, those animals who feed on the grass. So Trinachar, animals who feed on grass, Krishna follows them. So he's called as Trinacharanuga. This is the glory of Krishna. Mother Jashoda, the first day that when Krishna wanted to go to graze the cows, Mother Jashoda said to Krishna, Krishna, I made shoes for you. Your tender lotus feet has not stepped out anywhere. You please take these shoes. I've made these shoes for you. You'll wear these. And Krishna said, Maya, so beautiful. Okay, I will wear. Then what about my cows? What about my cows? Will you make for them also? And then Mother Jashoda said, human beings have 2 legs. Cows and all animals have 4 legs. And Maharaj Nanda, his Goshala had 900,000 cows. So you can imagine 900,000 multiplied by 4. That many shoes. Mother Jashoda said, okay, Kanha, you please manage on your own. I cannot give you shoes, beta. You manage. He said, yes. See, they are my swamis, Krishna said. I am their palak. I am just the one who takes care of these cows. So they are my swamis. They are my swaminis. And if my malik is not wearing, if my owner is not wearing, how can I wear being their servant? So I will not wear. Then Mother Jashoda said, okay, Kanha, take an umbrella at least. It's so sunny in the forest, you will need an umbrella. And Mother Jashoda made such beautiful velvet, umbrella for Krishna with nice pearls dangling and all that. Mother Krishna opened up the umbrella. Oh, Maya, so beautiful umbrella you made for me. What about my cows? What about for them? And then Maya Yashoda said, hi Lala, for your cows, then the cows can't hold. No, then he said, yes, the cows can't hold. So you have to send one servant who can hold umbrella on top of each of the cows. So then Mother Yashoda started calculating, okay, that many servants, there's no more that many servants in Gokul. Kanha, you go. I pray that Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, will become soft for you. And I pray that the sun will be covered with the clouds for you, so that you are not harmed, my delicate Krishna. So with this, Krishna would go out. He would not take even umbrella, nor would he wear shoes. Krishna never wore shoes when he was in Brajadham. And those lotus feet, that's how the gopis in this text 7 of Gopi Gita, they're praying to Krishna that Krishna, your lotus feet, such tender lotus feet, you are following behind these cows and these goats. And these tender lotus feet, you placed on whom? Who did you offer it to? You offered it to the hoods of Kaliya. Kaliya is so sinful, Krishna. He was so envious. He did not ask. He did not say, Krishna, I'm surrendering to you. You put your lotus feet on my head. No, you only offered your lotus feet to him out of your causeless mercy. He didn't ask for it. And once you offered, then you took away his ego, you purified him, and whatever you did. But he did not ask for it in the beginning. But here we are asking for you, Krishna, that please put your lotus feet upon our chests, please. We are begging. You are so merciful that on a person who is not asking, you are blessing him, like Kaliya. Why are you not blessing us? So this is how the gopis' intense desire to satisfy Krishna. So when we meditate on such beautiful prayers, it helps us to remain enthusiastic in our devotional service. So I'll just sing these 7th and 8th verses of Sri Gopi Geet. Pranata Dehinam Papakarshanam Trinacharanugam Sriniketanam Phanarpitam Te Padambujam Krinukucheshuna Krindhirichayam. Phani Phanarpitam Te Padambujam, that your lotus feet, you offered it to Phani, to Kaliya. Phani Phana Arpitam. You offered it to Kaliya. But here we are begging you, please put your lotus feet upon us. Be visible. We are understanding our mistake. So please be visible to us. Come back to us. And then they say, Madhuraya gira Valguvakya Buddha Manognaya Pushkare Kshana Vidhikari Rima Viramoyati Adharasi Dhuna Vyayayasvana. This last line, it means that please, Krishna, your words are so nectarian, so melodious. When we remember your nectar-filled words, it just satisfies us so much. And we are your maid servants, Krishna. So only thing that we ask you is that give us, the tambula that you chew, you're chewing on the pan, the tambula, you give us that, from your mouth, you give us that as your Mahaprasad. That will make our lives successful. So this mood of the gopis, this mood of the Vrajavadhus is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed us, that this, if we can try to we are not in any ways qualified to get this mood of the gopis, but we can try to at least just remember these as prayers and know what the goal is. So that way we can try to follow the instructions of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, which says, Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Dasa 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 Das. That when we try to follow the footsteps of the gopis by cultivating such mood, by cultivating such kinds of prayers and immersing ourselves in such kinds of prayers, then the chanting that Srila Prabhupada has given us, that will really be very, very smooth. It said, if you take a hot knife and you put it through butter, the knife will very smoothly cut the butter. And the butter will also cut very effortlessly. But if the knife is not hot, then it is a very strugglesome process. So all of these prayers, these kind of moods that our acharyas have given us, that makes our heart, it makes our senses really hot and nice, so that when the Hare Krishna Mahamantra comes, then it nicely will cut through our material bondage and it will not be painful at all. And it will cut through so nicely that we'll not even realize that, something has been cut away, something unwanted has gone away. So with this, we'll end here. If there's any questions, comments, or any reflections, we can take that now. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. That's a heart-melting, instructive class and sharing. And Mataji is on the Zoom call. Please feel free to unmute yourself and take association of Mataji by sharing your reflections or questions you have. Yeah, the platform is open.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. A very beautiful class. I just loved it. Mataji, I had a question, Mataji. You
Yes.
were mentioning, right, Mataji, that no kind of austerity can take us closer to Krishna, just our humility and our grateful heart are the two things, right, that we should try to develop. So, Mataji, like, my question is like, when we have this, right, Mataji, Kartik month, Purushottam, then we try to do certain kinds of austerities, right, just um, uh, we try to do that, right, Mataji? So,
Yes.
does that help us in any way, or how is it helping us, Mataji? Then,
Very good question. Very, very good question. You see, the vratas that we do during Kartik, the vratas that we do during Purushottam month, if we are doing too many vratas, it does make, it does have the tendency in us that it can inflate our ego, But if we are doing it in the mood that we are following the principles and the sadhanas that the previous acharyas have instructed, like following Kartik Vrata, Prabhupada has said about it,
yes, ma'am.
following Purushottam month, the acharyas have instructed us about these. So
Yes, ma'am.
when we are doing these, which are recommended in the Shastra, not that, we are making up our own vrata in the sense that, oh, okay, Kartik month is coming, so I'm going to go on a crash diet, I'm going to then just go on a juice fast for this entire month. That's bad because we are manufacturing our own way and we are putting in our own selfish things into it.
Yes.
That's not a good idea. But when we are doing it as a way of pleasing the previous acharyas and following the instructions that they have given us, then in that way, it is not niyamagraha, sorry.
Okay.
It is following the rules and regulations that is mentioned by our acharyas.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for this amazing class, Mataji. I mean, I have heard we all have heard the pastime of Krishna having a headache, but you narrated the pastime so beautifully. So many times I heard, but this was the first time I really got goosebumps when you were narrating the Gopis' love. It was very beautiful, Mataji. Very, very beautiful. Thank you so much. And Mataji, I had one question. So you mentioned like we always hear envy is one thing we have to give up. So Mataji, my question is like I don't know. After few years in Krishna consciousness, our envy should go down, but we I feel I don't know whether it goes down or it erupts more or it becomes visible more or what happens. Mataji, some practical tips to curb it.
Envy?
Yes.
Practical tips to curb. See, the thing is that the other 5 anarthas, lust, pride, greed, arrogance, all of these can be dovetailed. But envy is the only one that needs to be uprooted. That is the only thing that cannot be transformed. It has to be uprooted. We have to become nirmat saranam. That is why only then we can be satam, nirmat saranam satam. The way to do that is really to pray to Krishna. That is the one most important thing, because only by the mercy and the desire of Krishna can that really go away. The mercy of the spiritual master, the mercy of Lord Nityananda, it really helps. And the other thing is that the thing that really helps in uprooting envy is glorification. When we glorify devotees, whenever we feel envious towards any devotee, try to see what good qualities they have. If we try to focus on that, try, like Srila Prabhupada said, be like the honeybee and not like the fly. The fly always looks for, leaving aside the entire body, the fly will go straight where there is blood and pus. That is the nature of the fly. But the nature of the honeybee is that it will leave the entire garden. It may be smelling of cow dung, it may be smelling of so many other unwanted things, but the honeybee, it will go only for the nectar. So Srila Prabhupada said, be like the honeybee. We are always trying to, if we are just trying to criticize and, be envious, if that is there in us, then try to glorify devotees. When we say every morning, the first offense to the holy name is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives to propagating the holy names of the Lord. How to get rid of this offense? If we constantly just think in our mind, oh yeah, I should not blaspheme devotees, I should not blaspheme devotees. You know what our mind reacts to? Mind doesn't read so much into should not, doesn't read. It just registers blaspheme devotees. That's what it registers. That's how the mind is, because that's the conditioning of our nature. Because of, we are eternally conditioned living entities. We are conditioned in that way because that's what we've been doing for millions and millions of lifetimes. So therefore, blaspheme devotees, yeah, that sounds familiar. Okay, go for that. Although we don't want to do it, we end up doing it. So rather, what should we feed in our mind? Glorify devotees, glorify devotees, glorify. See the good, see the good, see the good. Then there's no question of blaspheming, right? So develop a positive way of dealing with things. That's the practical tip, that don't try to say, if we tell our mind is so badly conditioned, like even the example Prabhupada gave, if a child has a knife, what is the best way to take the knife from the child's hand? If you say, hey, you have a knife, give, the child will run away with the knife. He'll never give. That's how the child is conditioned. We don't teach the child like that. But why does every child do that? This is universal principle. Every child is not taught. But you see, the child and the mind is very similar. The child, if you tell them to stay away from something, the child will do that only. Similarly is our mind. Our mind is like that child. And when we think that we've grown up, our bodies have grown up, but our mind is still that child. Treat it like a child. So give the child candy, take away the knife. So you have to substitute. You have to replace. You cannot say, okay, don't do this. No. You have to give something positive. Then the mind will accept it. Otherwise, if you just keep giving it, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, the mind will do that, do that, do that. That's the nature of the mind. That's the pitiable condition that we all are in. It is just our, misfortune of our conditioning that we are all in. But there is a way to get out of it. There is a way. We just need to know the technique to train the mind. Treat it like a child. Give it something good and take away the bad.
Thank you, Mataji. I mean, this is amazing. So many times we speak of positive reinforcement. This is what is positive reinforcement that we can apply. I can apply in my own life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All glories. Yeah, thank you. Very wonderful question. Wonderful question.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam Mataji. Mataji, I love all the pastime of Krishna and your voice is so sweet Mataji. You very nicely sang Gopi Geet Mataji. My mind is thinking when I learn that kind of sweet voice way to offer my Radha Gopika Jan Vallavan that day. I sang song too, Mataji, but not now like this. But your voice is really, really sweet, Mataji. I love all class too, Mataji. Thank you for giving me a class, Mataji. All
Thank
Mataji.
you, Mataji. It is the beauty of your ears that, something like this can also please you. Then that's credit to your listening. It's got nothing to do with me. It's the credit to your devotional hearing. So thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments?
I wanted to welcome all the devotees. As you said, internationally they have joined, and we really want to welcome you on this platform. Thank you for joining us, and please feel free. This is just like a women's Sanga, so you could also interact. We'll be happy to see you if we can. No force though.
Hare Krishna. Sorry if
Also,
I went.
Mataji, if sorry.
No, I was just saying that, sorry, I did not ask. I'm so sorry for this. I did not ask how long am I supposed to speak. I hope I did not go over with the time.
Oh no, Mataji, you are perfectly there. Like we are ready to hear you. So it was perfect.
Sorry, I apologize. I should have asked. I'm sorry for interrupting. Someone was saying something.
No, Mataji, I was just saying if there is time and if I can ask one more question.
Yes, please. I'm ready. I'm at your service.
So, Mataji, my question is, when we all know you have pioneered Bhakti, you and Prabhuji have pioneered Bhakti Vrikshas for so long. Mataji, what is that one advice you would want to give to people who are, as Vaishnavis, who are joining Bhakti Vriksha, and to Vaishnavis who are serving in the position of per se taking Bhakti Vriksha?
One advice, only advice I will give: be hospitable. Bhakti Vriksha, or Bhakti Vriksha is just a way of preaching. It's just a way of giving Krishna to others. It's a platform that we can give Krishna to others. So when we are giving Krishna to others, we should know how Srila Prabhupada, how did he give Krishna to those young boys and girls who did not understand anything? They were not even able to understand Prabhupada's heavy Bengali accent. Prabhupada has a very strong Bengali accent. When Srila Prabhupada in his lectures, one time Mukunda Maharaj, he was telling us, he said Srila Prabhupada in the early days, he was once saying in his lecture about Sanatan Goswami. And Srila Prabhupada, because of his Bengali accent, he said Sanatan Goswami, he pronounces it as Sanatan Goswami. That's how in Bengali he pronounces it as. So then these young boys and girls, Mukunda Maharaj told us this. He said, I thought that he was talking about some town which is called Shona. God knows what he was talking about. But the thing that they didn't understand anything that Prabhupada said, hardly anything Prabhupada said, about philosophy and things. But why and how did they get attracted to Srila Prabhupada? How? It was because Srila Prabhupada made friends with them. They did not have any friends who was giving them something to uplift them. So they saw that genuineness in Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada just gave himself to these young boys and girls. Selfless love. That's what Srila Prabhupada gave. Philosophy comes way down the line. It comes way down the line. If you ask anyone how you became a devotee, very few, very special souls will be there who will say, oh, I came because I love the philosophy. They mostly would say, because I love the association. I love that particular devotee because, that devotee, treated me so nicely with so much love. I really wanted to continue to get that love. That's why I'm becoming a devotee. So to be friends, to make ourselves really there for someone, selflessly trying to be there for someone, that is the mood of Bhakti Vriksha. It is love and trust. Love and trust does not come, these two words, it's very difficult to fit in material context. In material context, we love our children, but we may not trust them with our car keys. Correct?
Right.
We may trust our accountants. We may trust our bankers. We may trust our people who do our taxes much more than we trust our own spouses sometimes. They know more details than even our spouses. But do we love our tax consultants? Do we love them? No, we love our spouses. Correct? So love and trust is something in the material context doesn't fit together.
Right.
But only in spirituality, in spiritual life, love and trust go hand in hand together. That is the uniqueness of spirituality. That is spiritual world. And that is the kind of experience that we are trying to give to the people so that they can revive their Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada always says that every living entity, not just human beings, living entity has dormant Krishna consciousness in them. We just have to fan it in the right way and revive their lost Krishna consciousness. That's all. We are not giving them anything new. We are just making them remember. Everyone is an amnesia patient. They've forgotten. We ourselves have forgotten. We still don't remember. We are now getting little images. Sometimes we are getting some goosebumps here and there. Sometimes something is happening. But we are not still there yet. We are still in the process. So while we are there, while we are going in that process, if we can get as many as amnesia patients back home, back to Godhead, that'll be the success of our own lives too. Love and trust. Basic principles of Bhakti Vriksha. Basic principles of preaching is love and trust.
Thank you, Mataji. Really, thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam. My name is Priya Madhavi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, my question, I don't understand that how the enthusiasm is kind of pride or something bad. I don't understand.
No, enthusiasm is not pride. Sometimes it's based on our consciousness, basically, how we perceive it, how we are perceiving it. Like, say, for example, if we are, being very enthusiastic, but if it is just to show off to others so that others will say, oh, look, this person, this devotee is so nice, doing so much service. And if that is really something what helps us or motivates to remain enthusiastic, then that becomes pride. Then that becomes, false. We are then being very, very, artificial in and it will not last also. But real enthusiasm means whether somebody is watching, whether somebody is not watching, we are, having steady devotional service. That is real enthusiasm. Whether we are in the presence of hundreds of devotees or whether we are just by ourselves and nobody is watching at that time, Krishna is watching. Our spiritual master is always watching. So when we know that as a fact, then that is real enthusiasm, which is not dependent on any praise from anyone, which is not dependent on any other external situations. That is real enthusiasm.
But we are doing that, but devotees are always praising. So that means, so we are doing something bad?
No. Devotees' nature is that they will praise. So when they praise, it is up to us how we take that praise. If we take it and if we keep it to ourselves, then our egos will become bloated. Then we will start climbing in our materialistic life. Our egos will get, puffed up like the puri. But if we actually pass on the praise that we are receiving, that we say that it is only because of our spiritual master and the mercy of the devotees that we are able to do whatever we are doing, then we don't keep that praise to ourselves. We are passing it to the Guru Parampara.
Guru Parampara.
That is good. We don't keep it to ourselves. We don't, latch on to it. We don't do that. We pass it on.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Any other reflections or questions, Mataji? I know it's a rare opportunity to get to hear from Mataji. So many wonderful questions and actually so practical tips that it's just giving me hope.
Next time we can do some pastimes. If you want, we can do some nice Vraja Leelas,
Yes,
or
Mataji.
Gauranga Leelas, something, whatever you like, we can do something.
Jai. This will be really nice.
Goswami Kathas.
Yes, Mataji, as you say. We meet once a month, but we are all trying to read on a daily basis to come together and read. We seek your blessings that
Yes,
continue.
you told me. So wonderful. This is the Sanga that Srila Prabhupada would have his immense blessings on.
Mataji, everybody is very quiet. The rest of them, if there are no other questions, we will pay our obeisances to Kalasudha.
Mataji, I have one more question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, please.
Sorry, Mataji.
No,
Mataji,
don't say sorry. I love your questions. Please.
It's not very often that we meet Vaishnavis who have been in the process for so long, and so I don't mean to belittle Srila Prabhupada disciples, but somebody they are Mataji. It's just that we connect more with people whom we see. So I can connect with you. So Mataji, my question was, after all these years in devotional practice in bhakti, Mataji, if somebody comes to you who you see the spark in, and they ask you, what do you enjoy most in devotional service? What will be your heart? What has kept you in devotional service? What gives you most joy in this process?
Well, if they ask me, I will say meeting souls like you all. That keeps me going. And any opportunity to render service, that keeps me going. When it kind of boosts my spiritual practice, this association and meeting with, different souls really boosts my Krishna consciousness. That's what fuels my Krishna consciousness, I would say. Because, of course, for, practical and many different purposes, it says that I received initiation at 15, but actually I received at 14, which we cannot say officially. but nonetheless, my life started with preaching.
Sorry, I'm having problems.
My life really.
Request. Please try again later. If you
Alexa,
continue to
stop.
have issues, please contact support.
Crazy. So, my life started. My devotional life was really with the preaching, and that really is my high point in spiritual life. This is, as Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, prana chejar athoev prachar, that one who is having life, that is, life means preaching. If we are not preaching, then we are as good as dead. That is how Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur describes. And that's exactly, what I feel, even the fact that I have to chant. I chant, of course, I derive great pleasure in chanting. I will not say that, yes, I'm very attached to chanting. No, I've not yet definitely developed that. But yes, my motivation to chant is so that I know that chanting is the only thing that can give me the purity by which I can really connect with different souls, where Krishna will really be able to then guide me so that the Paramatma in their hearts will be able to listen to some words that are coming out, given directions from my Paramatma. So it's a Paramatma to Paramatma connection. And we understand that it's not we who are doing anything. It is just our desire to serve that is, allowing us to connect with people. Like, for example, I have not seen any of you so much, personally. It's probably the first time, but I really feel such deep connection with all of you. This is spiritual relationships. It is not based on the body. It is all based on the heart-to-heart connection. So this is what really inspires me, keeps me going. These kind of sanghas, meeting all of you lovely souls.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions?
Yes, Mataji, we don't want to hold so many engagements you have for preaching, and you have taken out time for us.
No.
And we look forward for more. As you said, we will talk and we will see how we can coordinate.
Always at your service, but I can send you the link where we are doing Gaura Katha right now, every day in the evening. So if any of you want to join, I'll send the link for the WhatsApp group to Himanga Gopi. And if any of you want to join, please join. We send the Zoom links there. And it's every Monday, from Monday to Friday, every day. Monday to Thursday is Gaura Katha, which we call Gauramrita. And on Friday nights, we do Hindi Brahma Samhita in Hindi. Currently, Friday is a Hindi day. We do give classes in Hindi. So, yeah, that's what it is.
That's so wonderful, Mataji. Thank you. Let's all pay our obeisances. One chakal
Patarpyascha kripa
कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरुदेव की जय। प्रेज कलासुधा देवी दासी की जय।
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.